Call the member for Noosa.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Yes, it is again a privilege to represent the crossbench in summarising the year, as well celebrating for the 5th year our differences up the back here. If 3 political parties, plus an independent, with geographic, economic and social diversity that is breathtaking in its expanse. So when you think about that, we represent 17% of the opposition, but actually cover our electorates 28% of the state. And I think if we can do it, anyone can. For the 3rd year, fallout from COVID dominated with lack of labour and materials, skyrocketing prices, health services and the ongoing housing crisis, with shared commonalities from the beach to the bush. Floods were prominent, as we've heard, and many have yet to have our houses refitted to pre-flood condition. We give gratitude that more lives were not lost, and our ongoing thoughts are with those who grieve for loved ones. Our frontliners, again, have done an outstanding job, endeavouring to keep all safe with domestic violence, repeat offenders, irresponsible and dangerous drivers, as well increased mental health issues, competing with the increasing decrease in physical health. Businesses that have had to survive through the 2 years of lockdowns, shutdowns and isolating staff now have reduced hours and sustainability issues due to ongoing staff shortages. And just for an example, in Hastings Street we have 60 chefs short, and we're coming into that big season. And of course in Country and Marani, all realms are impacted, including agriculture, mining and hospitality. The Greens electorates of South Brisbane and Maiwar, theirs is teachers, nurses and health clinicians. Access to federal programs such as PALM have made an enormous difference in our aged care, as an example, with over 30 carers from the Pacific Islands commencing in September in Noosa. Yes, we've argued in chamber this year again, over many things, but also, from those of us up the back, we just hope that fault lines report actually that we actually do follow through and look at this. It is so important, and we all agree. Of special mention, the crossbench brought forward a total of 8 bills, with 4 moving beyond the second reading, which include the CATA's labelling of seafood and the biofuel liquid fuel supply, which is currently in committee. Of special mention is their Blue Card Indigenous Communities Bill, which after 3 attempts, even though not supported for passing by committee, will lead to instrumental and urgent changes. Look, the Greens, they honed in on the housing crisis. Rent freeze bill, which is currently in committee, age of responsibility and empty home levy bill not moving beyond the first reading, with the cost of living relief table nearly this week. However, we ran out of time. But look, all of those bills shared a commonality, and they're trying to rectify for in their communities a glaring wrong, and should be heartily congratulated. Look, the crossbench represented major contrasting views to both government and opposition, as well as each other, and regardless of the rights or wrongs, contributed to the much-needed diversity in the parliament. Now, there were so many highlights within the diversity. So, in Country, the opening of the renal dialysis unit at Ingham Hospital and CT scanner for Charters Towers, with progress at Hughenden Dam, Copper String and the long-sought-after North Johnson Transfer Project. And the regional water assessment plan is well underway and close to finalisation. For Noosa, of course, it's the work of Ramsay Health with the assistance of government to expand the emergency department at Noosa Hospital, completion of stage 1 of the Taunton bypass and commencement of 6 Mile Bridge No. 7. For Marani, repairs and resurfacing of highways, completion of the Mount Morgan pipeline and reopening of the mine. A new hospital committed to Serena, and 2 positions awarded to the Australian South Sea Islanders. For the Greens, they were happy about indications that the government will move to legislate an affirmative model of consent, and of course they were absolutely thrilled by the fight of their community to retain East Brisbane State School and the return of the Pride Festival to West End. Look, there have been lowlights, but I'm not going to go there because it is in the spirit of Christmas, and it's really hard being the last speaker because I know everyone is so eager to get out to the Speaker's green. So I'm just going to hit on then the thing about the crossbench, and the reality is, you see, we do not vote together, and it is a rarity when we agree. However, we do stand, and you all know, united in some areas, including the right to be heard when a motion is put forward without notice, and opposition to the shrinking opportunities through limited time allocations. And I'll give you just 2 examples this sitting. I reduced my speech to half the allotted time so that other speakers could get in, and then today 6 on this side of the House missed out on speaking on the animal care bill. And we need to do something about this. It's time. Look, we continue to fight for a review of the committee and estimates process, and yep, we've all been patient, but it's time. Now, to the celebrations. There were so many achievements within our electorates, and the list is too long to accommodate here except to say our heartfelt congratulations. And there are so many to thank. As I mentioned, fabulous frontliners, nurses, retail, hospitality, teachers, it goes on and on. As you have confronted different challenges, you have done so with others foremost in your mind, and you have our deep gratitude. To the Premier, ministers, parliamentary staff and departments. Yes, we've had moments of great frustrations and we cannot understand why response times are slow. However, there have been things we are grateful for, including the long-awaited actions on housing, commitments to see an end to domestic and family violence and progress on the path to treaty. Thank you all for what you do, and again, it has been an extremely challenging year. As well, we were grateful for the determination of the Independent Remuneration Tribunal to transition our hard-fought-for crossbench parliamentary policy officers to full-time status, and that was a high five. That was really good. To our clerk, even with a dose of COVID, you ensured that the MP's move into alternate office space and accommodations was relatively smooth, even though it may have seemed like herding cats. The works on the annex is a huge job, and we recognise the enormous efforts and disruption, not only for yourself, to all parliamentary staff. Mr Speaker and all deputies and acting speakers, there were some days when there seemed to be more MPs on warnings than not, and your job is not one that any of us would want. Thank you again, and for continuing efforts to bring respectful debate into chamber, which is so important. We have our school children visiting, and they really they look to see the leadership that we can provide here. To IT and catering, library services, security, Hansard, committees and secretariat, corporate and housekeeping, and every person that makes it possible for us to do our job here. Thank you. Welcome to the many new staff, as well for the decorations for special events. Though, can we ask you please stop tempting us with those fabulous treats, because it's all adding to our girth. There are no words to convey our deep gratitude to our incredible not-for-profits, community organisations, volunteers, advocates and residents of our electorates. You make the difference and inspire us as MPs to do better every day. To our staff, how much we appreciate your efforts every day on behalf of our communities. You are gold. To all fellow MPs in this chamber, your staff, families and electorates, from the diversity up the back where our Christmas decorations range from eco-friendly or natural potted versions to cut-down versions, also to the latest in USB-powered versions, all the very best, and for a well-earned break. Also, extra hugs to the whips. What a job you do. May Santa deliver rain where needed, with fires only for our barbecues, and that under our trees are the gifts of, yes, bipartisan agreements that will assist us greatly to deliver to Queenslanders in 2023. And what better time than starting right now in true festive spirit out on the Speaker's green. Merry Christmas, everyone, and see you in 2023.
Thank you, Member for Noosa.